probably threw some of you off that I'm going live on a Saturday because I thought this might be a good idea. Maybe more people can make it if I do a Saturday afternoon. So hello. How are you? How you guys doing? Are y'all ready for the holidays? Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. So I'll just wait for a comment so that I can see that you guys can see me. So how you doing? Am I live? Hi friends. Can you guys see me? I can see me on my laptop, so just making sure because there's nobody commenting. So got to make sure everything's working as always. My laptop's beside me today though. I didn't mess things up. Oh, I see hearts. Yay! Yay, you can see me. Good. Hi, how are you? Did I throw you off by doing this on a Saturday? I just thought maybe during the holidays that this would be good, but you guys could all have different things that you're doing today, but you can watch whenever. You can watch it live or you can watch it recorded. But I'm excited. I have lots of plans for today. I have my watercolor paper out. I was a few minutes late because I was grabbing stuff. I decided to grab more things because I might want to add some gold and stuff on these and different types of watercolor paper so we can play with different things. Hello, friends. Hi, Julie. Hi, Natalie. Who else is here with me? Hi, Pam, Virginia, Jessica, Josie. How are you? How you guys doing? Are you ready to play? Hi, Inez. A little bit late, but it was a nice surprise, right? Yeah, the kids are having some lunch with our screens. I love it. Hi, Thelma. How are you? So I thought this would be a fun switch it up. I'm going to do more of that in next year. Still do my Friday nights, but add some afternoon midweek because I know with different time zones and some people work, some people don't. I want to take kind of hi Mari, how are you? Kind of a poll and figure out when people are on live or what you would like if we switched it up. So yeah, watercolor and shimmer. I did. I grabbed my watercolors because then I thought when we're done, and every shade of green distress ink I could grab because you can use watercolor. I'm going to use distress ink because I want this to be something that you don't have to have special tools to do. So some things you're going to have, some things you aren't, and that's totally fine. You could totally use 6 a.m. Sunday. So this totally threw you off, right? Friday night's probably better for my friends in New Zealand and Australia, but hopefully if you're up early on a Sunday, you can play along or do this later. Whatever you want to do. So I have a bunch of watercolor brushes, so I like to use round brushes. I have a couple of different styles, right? I have a filbert. I have some detail brushes. And I have my distress ink. So what I'd have to say with the distress ink, you could use re-inkers, you could use distress sprays, any water-soluble ink, or if you have the granddaddy of watercolors, you could pull your watercolors. You will have, there'll be more pigment in the watercolors, well, depending on the quality of your watercolor. But like I said, I want this today. It's like I have distress ink. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, do. So we'll use those. But you can use whatever you want. You will need a heat gun to speed up the process because I want to layer depth and saturation. So I'm going to dry between layers just to speed it up. But I played so that I'd have something to show you. And this was like literally just quick. But look, I did these in about 15 minutes. So this is crayon resist. So I have a white crayon, or you could use wax if you have just a white candle, like emergency candles. But I do have a whole box of white Crayolas that I bought. So I'm going to use that for crayon resist. Do you have to do all of these things? No, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And then I also have card bases and some tags because my whole idea is it doesn't matter what kind of crafting you do. If you love art journaling, if Lael is away this weekend, so if you're hanging out with me because she's not listing, you could do this in your traveler's notebook, in your lists. Great for cards. Great if you have to make a bunch of really quick cards. I feel like it's like a gift for whoever you're giving it to and a gift for yourself, because then you have some creative time, and it will be really fun. Green is your signature color. I love that, Virginia. Then you're going to love today. I grabbed browns. I grabbed greens, turquoisey greens, and a gray to add a little bit of depth to the color. I have some metallics I'm going to use. I grabbed a couple different watercolor papers. My idea is we could do these like they're going to be the background for a card. We can do these like they're going to be cut out. I have Q-tips. I have a little mini ink blending tool, so we can do a bokeh effect. Like literally, it's just play. We're just going to set a whole bunch of stuff up and we're going to play. And then you can grab a black pen if you want to add detail on these. You can grab the gold Posca. Like I said, it doesn't have enough opacity. So I grabbed some different gold paint and my gold glaze. I grabbed white paint or gesso if you want to add snow. But really, you know what your tools are, whatever you want to use. And then something to mask with. So I bought painter's masking tape. You have to watch on watercolor paper because it's very fibrous, that it can tear your paper a little bit. So just be careful. But you can also use, hello from England. How are you? I want to come to England because you guys in the UK are killing me with all this Biscoff Cadbury chocolate stuff coming out. Seriously. I need Biscoff cream eggs, and I need Biscoff, all this Cadbury coming out. Every time I see an ad, I'm like, I don't have that here and I want it, right? So you found a box of wax resist sticks at Hobby Lobby. Try them. Instead of a crayon, it'll probably work like just as well or even better. Use what you have, right? That's our mantra, use what you have. So we can do some masking techniques. We're going to do some freehand painting techniques. I'm going to do most of this where we mask off triangles, because then your edges can be clean. If you want to freehand any of this stuff and you don't want to mask off triangles, you do whatever makes you happy, right? Have you tried Tim's Biscoff treats? I have not. I saw them though when I drove past. I struggle because I find this stuff. I wish I could control my level of sweetness. Like if I could have the coffee stuff completely unsweetened and just some Biscoff stuff on top, I would like that. But I can't handle both the sugars, do you know? I'm a weirdo. I admit it freely. I think I told you guys everything. So you need something to paint on. I'm going to use watercolor paper today. I have foundations paper behind me. So you can use smooth hot press watercolor or cold press. That's the textury. I'm using the textury watercolor paper. I just think it'll be fun. I cut one of my craft mats. So I have like a mini palette. So I have space on my desk. And like I said, I have different pens and different colors. And we're just going to play. Does anybody have any questions? So I'm going to flip the camera around. So my laptop's working. I just had to restart it. So that was crazy. If you guys were with me on Monday for the rest of my bonus class for Mistletoe and Memories. Speaking of Mistletoe and Memories, I did put a link on my Facebook page, but I didn't give it to Natalie. But the Mistletoe and Memories flip book and stand is on like almost 40% off at scrapbook.com. So if you wanted an extra one, that's not all I use for the kit. So if you go on vickybooten.com, you can see everything listed. You need the 6x8 pad. It's on sale too. You need the vellum and acetate pack and the sticker sheet, I think is everything I use in the book. And then just a couple sheets of the Staples paper if you did want to do it, but it's on super sale. So thank you, because I'm a gift, don't you know? Today I decided to be a gift, so I put a bow on me. So whatever, weirdo, right? Working on the bonus pages now. They're lovely. Thank you, Sharon. Yes, and I still have to, could we use 49 Market re-anchors? Yes, because they're water soluble. 100% you can. I don't have any because I gave mine away because I couldn't find them and somebody had ordered them. So I gave mine away. So I don't have them. But yes, there is way more pigment in the re-anchor, right, than you're going to get off your pad. So yes, just a little drop. It's like liquid watercolor. So yes, 100%. I'm going to flip the camera. And then if you have any other questions, let me know. But let's have some fun switching it up. And on our Saturdays, so we have, I'd say the same as we have on our Friday nights, but I don't know. I want to offer lots of things for you guys. If I'm going to be here live doing the things, I want it to be something that works for everybody, right? So this year we're going to switch it up lots, do lots of different things. So my stand is being weird. Here we go. Boop. There we go. Got to see my belly. There we go. Looks good. Kind of crooked. Let's straighten it out a bit. Beautiful. You can only be here for 90 minutes. Karen will take you for as long as you can give us. But you know, this will be here. It's always recorded. Did it throw you off going on Saturday instead of a Friday night? I'm trying to figure it out so we do different things so it works for the masses. And maybe we can find new friends, right? If I switch it up, maybe we can find new friends. Oops, that was my ruler. I hit it with my knee. You're welcome, Nancy. I love doing what I do. So look at, these are the ones. I love this one that I masked, and I actually painted this one last. So I painted this, and then this one last, because we can do that with the masking. So I think that's going to be fun. So we'll duplicate some of these and then do some new ones. So I think one of the fun things we can do is let's just mask some triangles. And this, so what do we want to do? Do we want to do a piece that's ready for a card? So we can cut some pieces. So I have Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock, which this is art paper, like out of an art pad. This is much whiter than this, has a little bit of a creaminess to it. So, those paints, are they Kirtaki? They are Vicki Boutin. And there's going to be a whole bunch. I ordered a ton of this stuff to add to the US site, and I have tons in Canada. So out of anything with my name from American Crafts, there are things I absolutely loved. All of the pastes are phenomenal. The art crayons and these paints were great products that came out of that. But yeah, you can use Kirtaki. But like I said, these are Vicki Boutin ones. And like I said, I'm going to be watching because they're all metallic. So this one comes out copper. These ones are, this one's pure gold, but this is a translucent pigment with iridescent in it. So they will show up on white, but not on black. But this will show up on black. This shows up on black. This shows up on black. This one, and this one. Because the pigment, the mica, is the actual pigment in these. So be watching for it. That foundations paper, there's going to be so much stuff going up. So Greta is golfing, skiing right now, but we're going to work on that and our grab boxes and a whole bunch of stuff. So be watching for it because I'm going to put it up on some great deals so that you guys can stock up, and they last forever. So I love it. So I just grabbed those because I have them and I know they work, and they're going to give us the really shiny pigment we want. So I'm going to take out in January, probably both. And as I have lots, I won't put all the stock up. We're trying to get some stuff up for December. But whenever here's the whole thing, right? Is I'm a small business. And in the middle of design stuff for some exclusives that I'm doing and for Sizzix and other things. And I really am not the best at managing my time. I'll be honest with you. So it's coming, right? This is a nice surprise. How much have I missed? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. We're just talking about what we're using. So do we want to cut a piece? What card size do you want to do? Are we okay if we do a 5x7 card? You know, I like my cards big. So I can cut a mat to fit on a 5x7. So we could do one of the bases ready to go on a card. We can do a little strip for a tag too. How about that? So if I'm going to do a 5x7, do you want to mat it? So do I want to do it 4.5 by 6.5? So we can add a mat. Do we want to do that? New viewer, do we purchase from your website? Eventually, Virginia. Yes, I'm in the middle. So it's vickiboutin.com. And I'm in Canada, but I also have, we ship from Canada and the US. So it definitely, you can order. Right now, there's not much going on other than if you scrapbook, I have my Vicki Boutin Creative Weekend with my latest collection from 49 and Market. It is Willow Grove, and it's going to be beautiful. So that's available. But 5x7 we're going to do. Okay. So yes, you can. Oh, I dropped. Where'd I put it? No, because I was trying to cut some sentiments, and I came to realize, guess what I don't have a lot of? Sentiments. Hello, Valerie. How you feeling, friend? If we see Kari show up, she might. I don't know, because Kari had some surgery yesterday. Make sure if you see her in the chat that you send her all your love. So we are going to do, what do we decide? 4.5? 4.5 by 6.5, right? For 5x7, and then we can put a mat on it if we want. So I have that ready. I'm not going to waste that. I can do a little mini tag with this too. And then we can just paint some trees on here. Or do we want to do another card? What do we have here? 8.5 by 11, or 8.5 by what would be left then? That's math. Let's just cut it in half. So I'm going to do this at 4.25. And I can use whatever. Whatever, right? So we're going to do a bunch of different things today. So like I said, the paint I'm using, and do you love my bowl with the little mushrooms on it? These kind of things just make me feel happy when you're working away and you're in your studio, having little containers. So it brings me joy. Like I said, I'm a heat gun because I want to speed up the process. So do you want me to duplicate a little bit of, I might switch this tree up, but why don't we do this to start? So we can do a little scene. So you could definitely cut this out and use it on a scrapbook page. You could cut these out, use it as a card. You could cut it out, put it in your art journal, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to just mask off some triangles. Okay, let's just do it. So let's start. I'm going to start with the card base that I created. Now, which size was that one? That's what Vicki does. Doorknob. There. So do we want to do it like this and put a couple trees on it? Why don't we start on here? So you could use washi tape as well, friends. Who's going to play along with me today? These stupid nails are coming off tomorrow. You love and collect ceramics? Me too. I love them. I like containers, right? My water bowl has turtles on it, and I love that. And it belonged to your daughter when she was little. I love that. I do. I love that. Yes, I have a lot of them too. Whales, seashells. Every time I go somewhere, if we go into a cool art shop, I will buy myself. So I'm not going to start in the middle on this, right? I'm going to do my first tree kind of here. So I'm going to lay my tape down. We can move it, right? You're playing along? I love it! And then just decide how you want, what do you want your tree to look like? That kind of makes me happy. And then my base. And then I'm just going to burnish my edges. If it bleeds under, it's all good. Okay. Move my stuff because I have stuff laying everywhere as always. We'll see you later, Tony. Enjoy, right? Enjoy. So I'm going to start with this tree. And then I'm going to have my little mat here. that I can put my watercolor on. Actually needs to go on this side. So when we go in here, we can just do simple, just float the pigment in. If you want to do that, we can just do these as ombre. We can do them, we're going to do a bunch of different techniques. So let's start with just laying some color down. So pick your palette. I want some contrast in these, so I'm going to do different shades, like something maybe that's in like a twisted citron. I might do something that is in like a cracked pistachio. And then I'm going to start with my lighter colors too. And maybe bundled sage. How about that? So for this tree, I think is going to be my cracked pistachio one. So I'm going to put some pigment down on my craft mat. You could do this dry or you could do wet. I'm going to put water down on my background and then float, oops, stuff's fallen, and float pigment in, okay? I am gonna start with a number 8 round brush. I have paper towels here. When I watercolor, I always want my paper towels. You finished all of your mistletoe projects. Les had me display them. He's blown away by your talent. Well, thank you. And your talent, because you did all that stuff. I love it. So you could float some water in here so that you can do wet on wet. And then pick up your pigment. Like I said, I'm using cracked pistachio here. And then let's just float that in. Like I said, I want to build my depth. I'm going to do these kind of ombre. So let's start it just as one layer, and I'm going to dry it so that I can now go in and put another layer on top. So we're not going to bake it like a cookie. We're just trying to take the moisture out of our watercolor. And now let's go in. I'm not even going to add any more water, and I'm going to start from the bottom up. Okay, so maybe like this, and go 3/4 of the way. And let's dry that layer. Do you want me to bring the camera closer? Let me know if you want me to zoom in. I will bring my camera down. I bought a bunch of new camera equipment, so soon I'll be able to press a button and zoom in. But would you guys like that for this one? If I bring the camera down today, let me know. A little bit of water. And now I'm going to come up and not cover that last layer because I'm doing kind of an ombre. Add my pigment there. And dry. So this will give us multiple shades of the same color. Yes, please? Sure. So look at, it has to be manual. Is that okay? And then I gotta just make sure I'm in the screen. Better? Okay, now I'm gonna dry that layer. So see what I'm getting here? Pretty ombre effect. Super simple, right? So if you need to make some quick Christmas cards or just want to make art, by drying the layers, that's how we're building the depth. If you try to just put more pigment wet on wet on wet, it just bleeds together, right? So by doing, did I say we're doing, I think it's cracked pistachio. I think it is. Zooming in would be nice. Yeah, I have it. I bought 2 new cameras. I have the whole setup. It's just now I have to physically take the time to do it, right? So I'm going to go in here now. Oh, look at that depth. I love it. And by doing it dry, we get those hard lines because it's almost, well, it's like the wet layer goes on top of the dry layer and gives you a nice watercolor line. So can you see that? It's very subtle, but I love it. I might go in one more time with that layer and just add, just to deepen it a little bit, okay? Just paint the whole thing though, because you want to build that depth. And then we dry it so that next layer sits on top. And now I'm going to put one more at the base. Isn't that pretty? Super simple technique. We're just kind of doing an ombre watercolor. Doesn't matter. You could be painting flowers, butterflies, whatever. I just love that you don't need to have any special tools to do this technique. Like I feel like watercolor, you don't have to have stamps. Just using the painter's tape, I will do this in 2 layers again to build that, the darkest layer, okay? And do you see, I'm not doing any kind of special brush strokes. I'm just tapping the paint in. And the paint is distress ink, which is super fun, right? I hope that my phone is picking up the detail. Can you guys see that? Super pretty. Okay, one more pounce of the ink. We're only using one color here and we're getting lots of depth. So I don't want a ton of water on my brush. I want it mostly pigment. And then let's build that layer so we have the contrast. I might do this one 3 times just to get it nice and dark. And then we cross our fingers it didn't bleed under. I don't think it did. It's not a super wet technique. Looks like ink blooms. It does, doesn't it? And we're faking it. But the key is drying between your layers. I was smoking. Okay, I'm going to go in one more time. Really more at the base, right? So it's pretty dry. The brush is pretty dry, tapping in my pigment. And you do notice when it dries, it goes quite a bit darker, right? So if anybody's playing along, are you getting some nice results? So we're gonna do, I'm liking how this is turning out. So I think we'll just continue this on the card, do it in different colors, right? I don't know if it's dark enough at the top, so let's just put a little, just to make sure that tip. I'm gonna clean my brush though and lift some of that. So I'm going in, this is just water, okay? Just water and blending that out a bit. So now we'll see if it bled or didn't. And no biggie if it did. So here's your tip. When you go to take your watercolor or your painter's tape off, pull close, close, close to the page like this. Okay? Close, close, close to the page. See? It did lift a bit, but not too bad. You could reuse it if you want. Okay, so let's see, close, 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 and hope for the best. Don't look at my jacked fingernails either. They're really bad. I need to go get them off. So I made an appointment for tomorrow. Oh, look how pretty. Just don't rip her off because you'll tear your paper, okay? It's very, very fibrous, right? The watercolor paper. Here we go. Close, 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 right? Pull it close, close, close. Oh, I love it. There we go. What do you guys think? It's pretty, right? So we can go, I would like now a taller tree, maybe kind of in the middle of the card. And it does have a little buckling. You could press it right before you make your card. Just push it, put it between some books. But that's from the heat gun. Okay, let's make a tall tree kind of in the middle. I don't care. I am not of the school that anything has to be perfect. Hi, Mary Pat. Love your Mistletoe and Memories flip book so much that I ordered the supplies to make 7 more books, one for each of my adult kiddos. I love that. It is a fun one, I think, right? Is that people that you gift it to will appreciate it, right? They'll think it's a fun project. Okay, so I want a little bit of a taller tree here. I don't care if it's exactly in the middle. Because, right, we don't go for perfect. We go for let's just get something done. This one's going to be a little taller and narrower. What color do you want me to do next? Do you have a preference? And then I'm going to bring the base down a little bit too. Burnish. Right, that worked out pretty well for us, so burnish. I use the same tape. You don't have to make this into a card. I'm just doing it because people like cards. But art journal, keep it for yourself. Art journal, you could take these, cut them out to make ephemera for if you scrapbook. Whatever you do, or just do it in a little art book, little watercolor book, right? There's no rules to how we create our art, for who we create it, right? We do what makes us happy, especially here if you're playing with Vicki Boutin. I just try to do something that will please the masses, right? And I think a lot of times I only have a green palette, Nancy, just because it's what I pulled out. So I'm just going to pick. Do we want to go darker? Do we want, how about forest moss going in with a yellowy green? Pink is beautiful. I just didn't pull it, but you totally can do that, right? Right? Ice spruce. I might have that here. Let's see. Do I have it? Let's go for it. I have it. Ice spruce it is. You know this is not a color I would normally gravitate towards. Oh, look at. I was pulling this one to go in with, this is going to be pretty. I'm kind of excited about this, right? So we're going to go in with ice spruce. This one, I'm going to float water again, right? I want to float it in, especially for the lightest color, wet on wet. So this is just clean water that I'm going 3/4 of the way down. And then I'm going to pick some of this up, but I want this lots of water in the first one, okay? Because we don't want hardly any pigment. But I will wick it so it's not drenched, just like that. And then let's see what we get. Let's just float that in. Oh, might need a little bit more. Float that in. Right? And let's dry this first layer. Hello, Marie. So we don't have to bake it like a cookie. I just don't want it to be wet so I can build my depth. So see that? It's a gray green. It's more gray than I'd say it is green. So very fun, especially if you know me. This is not my normal color palette, right? I'm very much rainbows and butterflies, but I love it. So let's start, I don't know, about a quarter of the way down, inch of the way down. Does that make sense? Cover the whole thing, but then I like it not in a straight line. Could you do it in a straight line? You could do whatever you want, right? Okay, and dry it. So I went to school for graphic design and fine arts. I have to say, when I tell you guys adding the mixed media and the artful techniques into your projects, when you get over the fear of not being able to do it perfectly, because any artist, nobody does it perfectly when they're first learning or they're trying new things. I just feel like it feeds something kind of awesome. So I'm going down about an inch again, and not in a straight line, just kind of adding detail. So it has that kind of water blooms, like you said, right? A little bit more water, and then cover the whole thing so that we're building that same amount of depth all the way down, okay? This is like if you wanted to do a mountainscape. Too, if you wanted to do clouds, you could do this technique too, building the layers like that. But I'm old, so when I went to school for graphic designs, there were no computer programs. We did everything by hand, right? Computers were just starting because, you know, showing your age, right? So I'm going to go in again, about half of an inch down, build my layer. You want to cover that whole thing so the shade is the same all the way down, and dry. And it is, and you learn something new every time, don't you think, Thelma? That watercolor, I find, is one of the most magical and sometimes one of the hardest mediums to use, right? See what we're getting with that gray, greeny color? Love it. Who picked this one? It's a good choice. So I'm going to stretch it. I don't want it exactly the same. I'm going to go a little lower now, just because I can, right? You can do whatever you want. I ended up going the exact same. So I said I'm going to do that, and then guess what? I did the exact same anyway. So I'm going to tap that pigment so I get that nice bloom hard line up there, okay? I love it, Virginia, and let me tell you, I love this, and this is why you have to try things and why you step out of your comfort zone. Just a piece of paper in your time. What do you got to lose, right? What do you got to lose? So I'm going to go right here for this one. Break up my line a bit. Bring it all the way down. I love it on the watercolor paper. So like I said, this is Tim's Ranger watercolor paper in 8.5 by 11 that I cut down because I thought, let's make a card first for my card making loving friends. And I need cards for Christmas. So even if you're not a card maker, I feel like this is the time of year where it's worthwhile, right? And yes, like I get the whole thing is that giving cards, you're like, I don't want people to throw them away. And then in the same breath, also, I think embrace, make the art for yourself. And once it leaves you, once you gift it, don't worry about it. It's like you let the butterfly or the bird go. And if people don't appreciate the art the same way you did, guess what you got out of it? You got to make it. And that was good for your mind, body, and spirit. So I say that make the art. And don't make the art just for the giving it away or for worrying about what other people are going to think. Who cares? Right? What you get to take away from it was the pleasure of the creating. And if people don't recognize, but some people aren't collectors like we are, right? That one might have bled, but it's okay. We'll see. And I'm going to go in one more time, one more line. This one really, because there's a lot of depth and color here, we got like a really fun result here. And this one I might paint twice, but I might not need to. Look at. And now you'll notice like your depth, it definitely, when you dry it, goes a shade lighter. But I don't even need to at this one build the pigment. Oop, baking it like a cookie. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? Ready for the reveal? I am. Okay, so pull it close so it doesn't fray. Now this tape is not as sticky, so it's not going to be as damaging to your watercolor paper, but it also might have bled under. We'll see. We'll see if it was a good choice to reuse the same. It did a little bit, but we have some gesso, so I can clean up my line if I want to, okay? So just keep it close, right? Close to the paper. Don't lift it to tear it up. So pretty. So that just ice spruce, even though it is kind of on the green side, is definitely more of a neutral, more of a gray. So we only had one little blip, and I knew it was going to. I could see a little lift in my tape. But when we're done, we can fix it or we don't need to. So I'm going to do one more tree over here, and then we're going to do two in between. So look at, isn't that pretty? And then we can just clean that up. Okay, so here is the question. Should I go in to keep balance? Should I go back in on this side again with cracked pistachio and then go in with a third color in the background? You lean towards dark. Well, you definitely get it with that one, right? So if we want balance, we could do a whole rainbow of greens. But I kind of think I'm leaning towards, hi Greta, how you doing? Are you keeping warm? I think I want to go in with that color over here, even if it's not the same size, and it might move over because it doesn't necessarily have to be centered. I think I'm going to go in with that on that side. Let's try it. So I'm going to live on the wild side, and I'm going to go in with the same painter's tape. But I want to make sure. Let's see where that went. So it's kind of off the side, the same-ish. So I'm going to do it right here, I think. On your way to the airport, Greta was on a ski trip and shopping and hanging out trip. In, where were you, Denver? So that one's going to be a little smaller. Totally okay with that, right? Varying my heights. And then we'll go up a little higher with this one too. Got a little tree. This one's just going to be a little baby tree. I'm going to burnish. I'm going to wipe up my ink or watercolor. And we are going to go in with cracked pistachio again. How about this? I'm going to get a little crazy. So I'm going to do cracked pistachio. but I'm going to mix a little bit of evergreen bough. So it's not going to be exactly the same color. Okay. So we're going to rinse our brush. We're going to go in with our color wash to start to give it the lightness for our ombre. Okay. And I'm going to pull those two and the whole thing, paint the whole thing and dry. Art is for everyone. It's my mantra. And that's why I like to do things that are not super hard. And you could make this as advanced as you want it or as simple as you want. You could sit and do this with your kids, with your grandkids, with your friend who thinks they aren't an artist. So we don't have the same amount of space, right? So just be careful, right? About 1/2 inch and right down. Dry. Hello, friends. How's everybody doing on this Saturday, Sunday morning? What time is it in England for my friends in the UK? What time is it in the UK? Because what was it? New Zealand said it was in the morning? That was here? It was my friend from New Zealand? Okay, so we start at the top with the lightest layer, then we add a little bit more pigment. We build the depth by drying between the layers, so we're not just pooling paint or distress ink in this case, from my friends at Ranger and my friend Tim Holtz. You know it is go-to medium. And yes, you can 100% use the inks from 49 and Market. You will get a similar effect. And then paint the whole thing. My brush was a little dry on that one. And because these are lighter colors, I'll probably have to load up my palette again. There we go. Okay, and dry. It's almost 7 a.m. in New Zealand. What time is 1850 for people who don't understand the 24-hour clock? Is that like around 7 p.m.? Look at, I don't want to look like a dum-dum. Let's put some more cracked pistachio down. How do you not look like a dum-dum when you're a little bit of a dum-dum, right? Yeah, you could totally throw salt on it if you wanted to get that broken texture from the salt. I don't have any down here, so you need to. Thelma was saying throw salt on it if you want a fun watercolor technique. Just know it has to be wet. If you want to do the salt technique, you just have to make sure your paint is wet. Don't put it on dry. It's not going to do much. Okay, tap that in. I don't know if I dried it enough that last time, but we'll figure it out. There we go. Lighter colors, different effect, right? 6:50 p.m. Well, that's better than some of mine, right? When we do it at 8 o'clock at night. Those are hard for you guys to come to, right? Okay, let's load up the brush. And let's go. I'm going to leave a bigger gap on this one because the color's so light, you just don't get the depth. So push your pigment right up on the line that's going to dry. This watercolor paper receives the pigment and water very nicely. It is the Tim Holtz Ranger watercolor paper. Has a nice texture on it. Okay, let's put more ink down. Oh, Christmas markets. Yes, right? I just watched somebody post about they went and did like a whole whack of Christmas markets in Europe. I will be there one day. I'm going to do the Christmas markets. We could do a cruise, one of the river cruises too, right? You know, it's funny. This side of the paper is receiving it completely different. The other side, I feel like there's more texture on this side. We'll do one more. Tap that in. Devin's doing her laundry, and I can hear that the washing machine is not balanced. She's bouncing all over the place. So you can see that kind of blended in the bottom, but we still can see the effect up top, right? I'm hoping I'll water it down quite a bit. Just want to make sure that's dark enough up there. Okay, let's see. I can hear it bouncing. I'm like, ooh. I'm going to get new tape for the next ones because that, at least that piece. And then just pull it tight so your paper doesn't rip, okay? Keep it close. Yeah, your paper is, I'd say, one of the most important things with watercolor. And the quality of your pigments will make a difference sometimes. Oh, I love it. So you see what I'm saying too, with mountains would be fun, right? So I'm going to put a tree here and one here. So I might leave a little space. Okay. So I'm going to tape those off because I can tape them at the same time. So what we're going to do with that is I'm not going to layer them over top. I'm going to mask this too. Okay. So you'll need a couple extra pieces of tape now for this. So I'm going to stick it on my pants to get a little bit of fluff on it so it doesn't tear my paper as much. Okay. Now I want my point to go right about there for this one. So I'm going to start here. There. Okay. So what we need to do, oh, this will be fine. This one's not going to overlap. It's just going to go beside it. So that piece is fine. This one, you're going to overlap to here. And then you're going to mask here and do your base. Just painter's tape I got off Amazon in different widths. Okay. So we are going to put that on here like that. Okay. Then you're going to mask this and then your base. So it will be going a little bit behind this tree. So you want to mask that. Hola. Okay. So I'm going to mask that. I don't want to overlap my colors. I want this to look like it's sitting behind that tree. I can't wait to get these fingernails off because they make making art hard. Burnish and position and burnish. Okay. Now I want that tree, because it's behind, to go up a little higher. So it is painter's tape, but you most certainly could use a washi tape. Okay, so this one, this is the base of this tree, base of this tree. This one's going to go, let's say here. I want it to be kind of straight. Is that up high enough? Maybe a little higher. There. Make sure my tape is somewhat straight with the base of the card. Okay, so there's one tree. I'm going to burnish. And then let's put another one here. Because we can paint those two at the same time, right? So I want this one to go about that height. And I really would like it to overlap both the trees. Let's do that. I didn't commit yet, right? And I'm going to change my angle for this one to make it a little fatter tree. Perfect. Okay. And this one will make about that height. Okay, burnish. So for our third paint color, AKA, let's do something that's, so we did kind of a blue-green. We did a gray-green. Oh, that's not what we used. We did this green and this green. So let's go in with something not too dark and something that's kind of contrasting to those. So we could do crushed olive, or do we want twisted citron? Crushed olive or twisted citron? Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. I would have noticed when we got in there, but oh my goodness. It's always good you're here, Inez. Hi, Sandra. So there we go. Boop. Thank you. So no preference. I can just use anything. I find there are a lot of people out there. You guys people are not as chatty anymore in conversations, right? Especially if you're working or just kind of hanging out or shy. So I feel like I'm talking to myself. So thank you for Twisted. You got it. For chatting a little bit. It makes a live video a lot easier, right? When you aren't just talking to yourself. So I'm going to go in here very light. I can paint these two at the same time, take some of the pigment out, and we'll do the color wash on the whole tree. And we'll dry that. Yeah, I see your comments. I don't think I'm on, I'll have to see, make sure I'm not on top comment, because sometimes not all the comments, but I can see you. So we need to dry between the layers to build the depth. And then I have a lot of buckling. I will have to, yeah, it is relaxing. It's okay. I can talk to myself too. When it certainly won't be the first time, right? There we go. So let's go in with our next wash. Like I said, I'm going to go about half an inch down. Fill the whole tree. Fill the whole tree and dry. I love that. Who's the chatty one in the family? Is it you, Mary Pat? I love it. Hi, Connie. Hard to work and type. I get it. And I love it. That's kind of exciting because a lot of times on Fridays, people aren't working, right? Because it's like I worked all week or it's too late. So maybe that's the difference with Saturday. If you're working, if you're painting, you're like, Vicki, I can't paint and type. What do you want? I want it all, right? Do you notice? It's like, wow, lady, I can't do both. That's funny, Connie, right? Okay, so I'm going to tap the pigment in. This is a lighter shade, so we might have to build that depth. I need to put some more down. Moi, you guessed. That's why we're friends, right? Hi, Candy. My son moved out, and I now have a bit of storage for my ridiculous amount of craft supplies. So I'm listening and rearranging. I love organizing my craft space. So enjoy that. Enjoy that. And it is a collection, right? It is not junk. It is your, like you collect antiques. We collect our craft stuff. I love it. It brings me joy. I do not apologize for it at all. And I did ask, I'm going to put a little bit more on that one. I did ask Devin on my list because I want 2 smaller gel plates so I can gel plate right into my art journal. So I did put that on the list. And you know what? She doesn't buy it. I'll just buy it for myself on Boxing Day. Sorry, the day after Christmas for any of our non-UK, Canada. I don't know if in the US, right? What do you call the day after Christmas? Just the day after Christmas? Does it have a, like, it's called Boxing Day here, right? There we go. Brush it down. Painting 2 trees at once. Got to remember to load my brush. See, isn't it funny? This side of the paper is different. It's crisper on this side. I don't know why. These look like, this color totally looks like Wicked. If you're doing anything Wicked inspired, you need Twisted Citron. It looks like the Emerald City. So Boxing Day is normally a holiday here in Canada. The stores will open. Most people will go and do the returns on Boxing Day, right? You call it Second Christmas Day. I love it. The day after Christmas, but since I'm on the border, it's now Boxing Day yet, because Valerie is, it's like she straddles US and Canada, right? So we have 2 Christmas days in the Netherlands. Isn't that interesting? I love it. Boxing Day in New Zealand. Maybe it's because Commonwealth country thing. I think so, because we are, Canada's part of the Commonwealth too, right? So now here's a question, because if you ask me, like, why is it called Boxing Day? Is it because you box stuff up to return, to put away? So tell me, friends that know the history of that. I don't know if I dried this enough. See, I'm not getting the contrast on that side as much. I'm going to dry it. Because if somebody asked me why it's called, historically, why it's called Boxing Day, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure I've learned that before, I just don't know right now. It is the day after, it's the day after Christmas Day in Canada too. But I asked one of my adult sons to fix a drawer in my craft room as my Christmas gift. He's so happy to do something for me that will make me happy. He loves how much crafting is my passion. I love that. And you know, a lot of your families are super supportive because I've been getting tons of purchases of gift cards on vickybooten.com. So there are lots of family members that support this craft. Yep. I had one year a husband reach out and say, can you do a gift box up? It was in Canada for my wife. This is how much I want to spend. Will you put something together? Well, you know, I freaking loved that. So she got way more than probably what he paid, because then I'm like, oh, I'll put some stickers in there. And I love giving gifts. So yeah, that was super fun. So just know, some of you, if you asked, you might have got one. Oh, I have to look, Inez, what your fiction from your Regency romance novels. I missed it. I got to see what you said. You have 4 Christmas days. I love that. Because we'll do Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. We do Christmas Eve in my house. Like I do Christmas Eve with the kids. So that one didn't show up very well. We might have to layer this one because the lighter colors. Okay, let's put some more down, finish this one up. I can't wait to see what this one looks like. Let's see. Let's get in here. And we will do one more at the base after. This one might take some layers, right? When the colors are lighter, it takes a little bit more to build the depth. My painting water cup, I ordered it probably on Etsy. I look for ceramic artists all the time, and it says paint water on it. So I love artisan stuff. So I found it on Etsy. I'll have to try to find the link. But I love paintbrush rests, and I love watercolors, right? Hello, Dawn. Long time no see. I think you're right. Yes, so see, paint water. I don't want to spill it, but I ordered it on Etsy. Okay, let's load up that pigment and let's build that depth right on the bottom. I'm hoping we can. Actually, I'm going to do that layer first. Yeah, there we go. It needed it because there was not much contrast down there. So double layer on that one layer, and then we'll just build the base again. But that makes a difference. Build that layer. That's better, don't you think? I think I have to do more of a color wash at the top on these ones too. Yay, I love that. I have not had much of a life, but I have taken some pictures. So my December won't be a December daily, but I am going to take pictures and put it in there. It's just probably going to be most of the holidays. Has anybody found like that? I've been working, so I haven't really taken many pictures. I don't, sometimes like it all be pictures of just Simon. Simon the cat, right? Because sometimes I don't have much of a life going on. But I do want to put them in there, so. Okay, and one more. One more after that. So who's using distress ink if you're painting with me, and who's using actual watercolor paint? And what kind of results are you getting? Okay, gonna go in, touch of water because my brush is pretty dry, and just build up that bottom one. There we go. There we go. Distress ink and loving it. I love that, Jackie. Hello, Serenity. Dawn and Serenity. You're working with watercolor. How's it turning out? What watercolor do you use? Daniel Smith. Boxing Day was once a day to donate gifts to those in need, but evolved to become a holiday as part of the Christmas festivities. I will donate that day to a local charity. Me too. I'm going to do that with you. I did not know that is what it was. I love that idea. Because they probably don't get that much after the holidays. It's probably a great idea. Hi, Tisha. Thank you. So, Leslie, what kind of watercolors are you using? What are your favorites? I'm trying side by side. I love that. Let me look what you were saying, because I'm trying a side-by-side comparison with Distress and 49 and Market Inks. And are you finding that, what are the similarities and differences you're finding when you're watercoloring with them? Connie, it has been a super snowy here in Minnesota, so I have lots of snow pictures. I'm currently working on my day 11. I love that. Oh, she just turned 19. Happy birthday to your daughter. Hi, Dawn. My sister, brother, and I went through my mom's photo albums, and I scanned pictures and collected new pictures of my siblings' family to use for these albums. I love that. That's beautiful. At my school, we donate before Christmas to a family in need. I love that. Yeah, I went and did winter jackets this year because my mother used to work at Community Cares. She managed it, so our family, lots of involvement with that. Although it was very hard to go in there to where my mom used to work, right? I love the lady who manages it now. And I had said to her, what are you in need of? I'm going to take some of that pigment up. I just wanted it a little darker, but not too dark. And she said men's winter jackets. So instead of adopting a family, I just did that this year. But they often need after the year, like things you don't think of, right? Feminine products, soap, right? Canned meat, so proteins, peanut butter, pasta, cereal, right? Baby formula. So just to keep the stock shelved, right? Bonjour, Vicki from Quebec. Bonjour. Okay, let's see. Are you ready for the reveal? I digress. Okay, I'm excited. So let's start with this guy. So our side mask. Boop. Oh, I love it. Okay. And then our side mask. And which one did I put on the base? Hi, Deborah. Here we go. Keep it tight. Ooh. It might have bled a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay, Vicki. We can fix that. Let's see. Keep it tight to the page so you don't tear it. We did get a little bleed under our mask, but I think it'll be okay. See, it bled where I put the double masking tape under. So I will dry that and then I'll mask there and just add a little bit. Or just go with it. Or just go with it. See if it happened on both. But I love this. I love the look of this. Trying not to rip anything right at the end. Ooh, a little bit of paint came off, but it's okay. It's okay, Vicki. There we go. What do we think? How pretty is that, friends? What do we think? So you could totally do this. This is going to be for a card, but you could totally do this on a scrapbook page in your art journal. You could do it for art that you could put in on your wall. But look how easy that was just by masking. Now I want to fix this a little. Let's see if we can. I'm going to dry it. And then let's see if we can fix it a little bit. So I'm going to lift some of that pigment with a wet, clean brush. I'm going to dry that. Just lift some of that green out, okay? And then let's go in. What color was that? This one was cracked pistachio. It really bled there. Look at that. Ooh. Let's see. A little bit more. Pretty dry brush. Don't want to move that pigment around too much. Where the green is, dry it. And then I will do a layer under. Get my sharp edge down here again. Watch your fingers. Okay. Ooh, that was hot. Did you see that? Did you see me rip my finger away? That was toasty. Ooh. See what was happening? It was a little wet underneath there, but let's see. What color is Twisted Citron, right? some ice spruce. Just crisping up my lines because it did bleed a little bit. You could go with it, right? It would not be the end of the world, but I'm going to see if it is something that is fixable, or we'll see in the end if I should have left it alone. Oh, that fixed that. And now I just want to take some of that liminess out of there. Right, so I'm going to lift some of the pigment. Ooh, try not to splash it on your card, which I just did. Just lift some of this lime green out. Dry that and put a little bit more of the blue green in. Clean up your ink so you don't put the wrong color on there. And this was definitely cracked pistachio. Look at, I can see where tape, residue of the tape. Can you see that? Vicki going to be able to get that off without ruining everything? Let's see. Do you see the tape residue? We'll see if Vicki ruins everything. But I could see it. It's like gray on there. So lessons learned, be selective on the tape you use. I don't want to pill my paper, but I think I can get it off. It's tacky. Like if you put your finger on it, it's sticky. Good enough, okay? Let's paint that here. Dry that. Ooh, did you see the smoke? That was smoking. I love it. I love it. So do we want to add an element of gold? Do we want an element of gold? On here? Do we want to leave it just plain for this one? Because we can, right? This one we can just leave plain. Because I do think there's something really pretty about it. So think if you wanted to hand paint some cards, and you could sign it, because this is. Because it could be, rather than doing like 20 different cards, we might end up doing one card or two different projects, right? Because I'm just adding to deepen that line up now. There. And leave it alone. I do really love it. It's very pretty. Right? But we do want trunks, I think, right? So here are the options. We could add gold, and that could be I could do with a fine liner. We could add our gold trunks and then just some branches. Or we could literally just add like, why don't we do, I'm going to do this. I think this is going to be pretty. So I'm going to draw branches in our trees with gold. What do we think about that? So here is, if you want to see this, I wish I had 2 cameras because I would take a picture of this one. So that is our masking ombre watercolor. And now if I go in, I could go in, ooh, what about copper? I'm going to go in with the copper. And what I'm going to do is, you could freehand this or you could mask. Do you want to mask a branch? So what we could do, right, is mask branches. Glitter, yay! So this is what we could do for the branches. You can go on here, and if you're nervous about your, see you later, freehand, go in and do this. On the center of each tree, just do a little mask like that, and you can paint your pigment in. Right? Just watch you don't tear your paper. But we could go in and do a little branch. I just got to see where the top of the tree. Okay. So let's add pigment to that. Let's get it soupy. Right, because these are dry. So I'm just getting, I want a lot of pigment load in here. I'm going to use a fine brush, but now I have this. Look at how pretty this is. Let's use a scrap. Where's that little thin piece I had? Just want you to see what this color looks like. I just need a scrap piece of paper. Here we go. So this is the copper, which I'm kind of digging, right? Because it's kind of woody, but sparkly. So then we have this ready coppery color. Beautiful. And you have a gold. I will have to clean my water to do the next. Right? I'm going to use that, the first one. I love it with that green. So let me dry them so you can see the shimmer. But they are just pure mica. And they have opacity, so it will work nice. So I'm going to go in with this one. I'm loving that. I love that with the green. Okay? And we're going to hope for the best that it's not going to bleed under. So let's just find a smaller brush. I don't want a ton of water because I want this to be pretty thick. And I want my branch to come down to about there. Maybe a little bit more water, Vic. Okay, let's see. We ready? Did it bleed or didn't it bleed? Don't tear your paper. Oh, I could have went up a little higher. Let's go up a little higher. There we go. One. We're ready for the reveal. Ooh, Vicki, that was scary. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ready? Look at that. How pretty is that, friends? So let's do all of our branches. Oh my goodness, look at that elegance, right? These paints are Vicki Boutin. Here, this is what they'll look like. If you're in Canada, I think they're up on my website. If you're in the US, they will be. I ordered a ton of them and I am going to post them. They're just not going to be up for a little bit, but you want them. Like I'd say, out of the products with my name on it from American Crafts, this was one of the best, right? This was one of the best. I love that. Oh my goodness. So see, it still has that very elegant look. I love this. I'm going to make more of these cards. My family's going to get cards this year. So you could totally freehand. Your line just might not. It just depends. And I did you notice? Put it on a little bit of an angle. So there is my center of my tree. Okay. There. Let's do it again. Rebecca, how are you, my friend? My goodness, I've missed you. Question. We purchased from your website or American Crafts. Well, I would prefer you purchase from my website because I have zero benefit from that. So I do all this work and I do not get paid a penny if you order from them. So being completely honest, I would say, yes, please purchase from me. At the end of the day, if you're eager to get them and you find them, go for it, right? I'm always one of those, go wherever, but yes, those days I am not with them at all anymore. So I'm going to paint this one. So preferably, right? So I don't want that one to come down lower. And I will have them, like I said, super deal and with foundations paper, it's all coming. I placed a big order of the product with my name on it. And I will be posting it. And like I said, if you're in the US, it ships from the US. If you're in Canada, it ships from Canada. So you saw Greta was on here. She's at the airport. We're going to get some of this posted for next week. Okay, let's see. Is it going to be as good here? I can see that I need a little bit more in the stem. Try that just in case. Okay, here we go. Let's see. How are you, Rebecca? It bled a little bit, but we're just going with it. I'm not touching that up. I'm just going to embrace it, but I'm going to put some branches on here anyway, I think. I did not burnish well enough, but it's not that bad. Oh, look how pretty. Oh my goodness, friends. These look like you bought them, right? It's so easy. You're coming on the cruise? Which one? So are you coming in, we're doing a lot of mixed media. There's some fun stuff coming out with Vicki Boutin in the new year. I love it too, Virginia. Isn't it fun? I love it. So this is the middle of my tree. So let's just remember, I'm good with eyeballing whatever, right? Does not need to ever be perfect. Burnish. Making art is so much fun. And like I said, even if you're like, I don't really give out Christmas cards, you just want to do this for yourself, do it for yourself, right? That's, to me, it's like there's no rules when we do this. You do whatever makes you happy. Burnish there. And let's paint another one. A little bit of water. The paint starts to get soft, right? So you get a lot of pigment off of it, and it's got a lot of opacity. So let's go in there. And this stem I want a little bit longer. Dry that. I'm only drying it so when I pull the tape up, it doesn't bleed under, okay? But I want it a little bit darker here. So I'm going to put a second layer on and dry. You're coming in April. Oh, I'm so excited. Yep, I have to get stuff together for that. But we're going to have a great time. We're going to be using some of my brand new Sizzix release that'll be coming out. Oh, friends. I love this so much, I can't even tell you. I think that really, I'm glad you guys said yes, put the metallic on. I really think it makes a difference, don't you? Connie is coming to the cruise in April. We're going to have so much fun. I am ordering some Sizzix die cutting machines that we'll use on the cruise, and then I'm going to give them away. So we're probably going to have 3 of them, and we're going to give them away after the cruise. I know some of you are going to be like, I'm going to have to find some way to ship it. But that's why I'm like that. Bring it on your carry-on. Make space because I'm giving them away. But I want you guys to have them to use so we can do, we're going to do die cutting and we're going to do some mixed media. I might have a brand new something that's going to happen that you guys will be the first to partake in. This cruise is going to be it's going to be a pretty awesome one, I have to say. So I want this one to come about here. So if you guys are new, I do cruises through a company called cruiseandcrop.com. There's still space in the one in April. The one in the fall is sold. It's sold out literally in 24 hours. And I have to start dates for the next one. I have to choose the next one. For 2027, we have to get that in the calendar. And for my friends in Australia, is anybody here or New Zealand going on the cruise in or coming to the event there? It's going to be worth your while. We're going to do some fun stuff. I think there's still some spaces for the in-person. Your grandbaby is almost a year. Her name is Riley. I love it. You're going on both. I'm so happy, Rebecca. I've missed you. I love you guys. Like a lot of you I've met in person. A lot of you chat with me online, and you matter. It matters. I'm going to tell you, okay, now I've done it twice. I say for doing these sticks, a new piece of tape each time. You need you need it to stick. Otherwise, you're not going to get the crispness. So I'd have to say, learn from me. How fun is that? So you see that I put it wider at the bottom, right? Wider at the bottom. I know I need to do another one out of Europe. They're so pricey, so I have to make sure. Like, can I tell you something? When I did the one to Norway, I did not think I was going to like that one. I didn't know. And let me tell you, I freaking loved that Norway cruise. Cruise and Crop, they are the best. I absolutely love them. I have been working with them for years and years and years. I love them. They are very good to me. Did it with a store called the Scrapping Turtle and then started doing them on my own. I love it too, Nadine. I love the ombre. And it was super simple. Have you been here since the beginning, or did you just check in? Really easy technique. And it's all with Distress ink. Did it all with Distress ink. And then these are the Vicki Boutin watercolors, which I think a lot of you have been around for a while. You have them. And here's a plus. You probably haven't pulled them out in a long time, right? So I want this one to come down to about there. Oh, this trunk is gonna be a thick one. It's a thick one, thicker than the rest. Let's see if I wrecked it or not. Yeah, it's fun. Super, super easy technique to get great results. I hope that didn't bleed. We'll see. I might not have pressed very hard here. We'll see. You ready? Let's do it. Oh, it did bleed a little bit. Whatever. I think the imperfection adds a little charm. You can totally tell that it's handmade, right? There we go. There are our trunks. We have little copper colored trunks. So, do I leave it like this or should I add some branches? And I'll show you what my thought is. So you can do either, okay? This is what I'm thinking, that I could just do this. So you want to be very selective with what brush you use to do this. You need a fine brush. So I am using this one. It's a number 8 filbert. So I get a nice thin line, and I find it's more control than if I used a round brush. So I'm going to do this. Do you have to? Do you see I'm pulling it into the... Pull it in to your branch. Now, I did something wrong. I'm going to dry this because I should have started here and moved my way over so you don't drag your hand in it. So let's just make sure we dry that. And then I will just darken that a bit. So if this makes you nervous because it's freehand, don't do this part. No, these are not my brushes. I just buy decent artist watercolor brushes, and they do not have to be super expensive ones. So this one is I don't even know who made it, but I think I bought it. Oh, that's not even the right one. This one is Simply Simon's. So I should have started here so you don't drag your hand across it, right? But if you want to add the branches, you can. Should I add branch? I'm going to add branches on all of them. I was going to say, should I do it just for the ones in the front? And then I decided just keep it consistent. All right, so I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to try to angle them all the same, but if I don't, it doesn't matter. Okay. See, I can't talk when I do this. There we go. I love it, friends. It is so much fun. It makes you feel super creative, right? Super creative. Make sure your brush isn't too wet. Okay. There we go. So like I said, if you are nervous about this part, I think it looked beautiful without as well. So you do not need to do, it's almost easier to do one side at a time. Right? Change the direction of the paper if you find it easier to do the angle. And then I'm just offsetting my branches. Oops, I got a little crazy, so you don't get cocky, Vicki. Because then I went and painted over my stem. See, right there, painted over the stem. Doop. There we go. And last but not least, But this brush I had bought when we were doing the mixed media class. Do you remember when we were doing a bunch of mixed media techniques? And I went and added to my watercolor brushes. And I have to say, I absolutely love this purchase. There we go. I feel like that's enough. Do we need a star? Do we want stars on them? Let's do stars. Okay, so I'm going to go up top and I'm going to do a line and a line and a line and a line like that. So center line, cross line, side and side, center, cross, side and side. Center, cross, side and side. You could use a fine round too if you wanted to. Center, cross, side and side. This one was kind of cock-a-poo-poo, but there. What do you think, friends? Pretty? There we go. Okay, so there's one technique. I'm going to set it aside, but this will make a beautiful card, I think, right? I had a card base somewhere. You do not need a red, but you see what I'm saying? Like, look. How pretty is that? Does it need a sentiment? You don't have to, but you totally could put like a little black one, I think would be really pretty. But what do you guys think? Do you think this was hard? And you see what I'm saying, that you do not have to do the side branches. I need more on this one though. Do you notice that? I got a little branch heavy on all the rest. So let's just add. That's better. That one was a little naked. This one too is a little naked. Here we go. Better. Very meditative, I think, right? Hi, Robbie. How are you? Hi, Brenda. Hi, Beth. Turned out really pretty. Okay, let's get our practice sheet. Okay, so now we have, I wanted to do, so really, now you have a card. Vicki made something you could actually do something with. I really love those with that filbert. So we have our main sheet, what I was working on, right? That can be our practice sheet that we could cut some pieces out of. Easier than you expected, right? And do you remember when we did these last year, we painted the trees? Let me grab something. It's right over here. I love this one. Look, it just split it. And the bows are just used a pen. But look at, do you remember last year? I think this was last year, right? I'm not imagining it. I think we did this last year, didn't we? Do you remember this last year? And we did these trees. Do you remember we handmade these trees and then made the tags, the little tag envelopes to do a mini book out of? Do you guys remember this? Right? We did all that mixed media and then made the envelopes. Do you guys remember? Was this last year or 2 years ago? I don't even remember. That's a hand-painted tree. Do you remember? We did that one. Our shaker box with stuff falling off of it because it's been sitting in the closet. I got to stick that back on there. Right? So every day we did a different technique. So this is here on my page if you look for it. We did different techniques. We made shakers. And then we used the tag envelope book. Remember? We have done some, if you're new here, there's a lot of content, wouldn't you guys say, to find stuff? Who was here for this? So we did the 12 Days of Christmas kind of jobby. But we made those trees last year. And then I found this, I think, at Target or the dollar store. Got to stick that guy back on there. You need to revisit it. You know what, Julie? And you do, just for the techniques. Because this was on steroids, right? This is what we're going to talk. Look at, that's paper towel. Do you see the background? It's from a dirty paper towel we sewed. Love it. Because we have, if you've been around, because Vicki Booten has been doing this for over 20 years, and you forget all the stuff we did, right? We forget all of the stuff. But this, look at, I love it. Those were hand painted last year that we did and just doodled on them. So all of that content is out there as well here on YouTube's. I need to organize my YouTube better so you guys can find the content. I think I should just hire somebody to go in and do all that stuff, right? Clean it up. Make it easy and accessible. Okay, let's do some bokeh trees. Okay, that's the other technique we're going to do. I'm going to mask a couple trees. We're going to do a couple different things. So this is just my play and practice sheet. This is it's artist watercolor, okay? You were there, Erin. Do you remember? We had so much fun. Did you do it with me? Did you do it with me? Okay, let's make a couple different trees. So I'm going to mask, and we're going to do a bunch of different ones. I'm going to show you the crayon resist. I'm going to show you a bokeh one. And what else do we want to do? I had something. What did I want? Oh, the bokeh, crayon resist. We're going to do 3 different trees. Bokeh, crayon resist, and I think I'm going to hand paint one. You can do stripes. You could do pretty much anything, right? So we'll make them big enough so you actually can see results. So the next one, I'm going to make a fatter tree. And all I'm going to do is change the angle of my tape. You find some crazy stuff, don't you? Hi, Natalie. Yes, Natalie's always here. What are you doing today? I know I probably threw everything off doing this on a Saturday, right? I have the project set up, and you bought a sleigh, right? They're out there in between shopping, just checking on you. Thank you, friend. I know it's hard because it's the time of year you're like, Vicki, Saturday is when I'm out doing stuff with my hubby and my family. What the heck are you doing? We have done. Oh, what else? So on I'm going to be here on New Year's because Rich and I don't go anywhere or do anything because we're old. And no fun. He'll probably be watching the sports because, you know, there's always the sports on New Year's, isn't there? There's always the sports. This is fun that you guys could do, too, if you have young crafters with you. If you're a school teacher and you're, like, looking for an inexpensive craft, there you go, because I know you teachers, your budgets, right? Oh my goodness, Natalie, I am such a loser. When your birthday was this week, wasn't it? Oh my goodness, happy birthday, Natalie D'Souza. It's in my calendar, but I didn't look at my calendar. It's Natalie's birthday was this week, and I freaking put it in there and was like, I'm not going to forget. I am the worst friend, Natalie. Happy birthday. Everybody, stop what you're doing, because she freaking is a huge part of this industry. I'm such a loser. Do you still love me? I'll make it up to you. Anything. What do you want? What a loser. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my favorite crafter in this whole world. Oh my goodness, I'm a terrible friend. I forget everything. I feel so bad, super friend. I love you, Natalie. Okay, I'm a terrible friend. I apologize. I feel terrible. Okay, we're gonna do this one. Let's do a partial tree like this. And then she even had to say to me, I'm out exchanging my birthday presents, for me to even realize that was Natalie telling me, loser, it was my 50th birthday. Oh my gosh, I'll make it up to you, I promise. Okay, I masked this one, okay, friends, so that we can color this side and then we'll color the other side. So let's do a crayon resist. What kind of pattern do you think you want on a crayon resist? We could do some squirrelies. So I will do that one here. Okay, so I'm going to do just like some little like shapes on here. You need to deposit a decent amount of wax, and it's hard because you can't see it. So you got to just go for it, okay? Just go for it. Oh my goodness, I feel so bad, Nat. And I saw it last week and I went, do not forget this, Vicki. And guess what? I'll make it up to you because I do love you. So you just kind of guess where your wax is going and hope for the best. Stripes would be even easier, right? Because you could see them if you drew them on the tape. I have to just go for that because let's see if I pick it up, if I can see it. Yes, if you move your page around, you can see the shine from the wax, okay? Can you see it? So I'm going to put something else right here. No, I'm not. Yeah, maybe here. Ooh, ooh. And we'll hope for the best. Because this is harder on the watercolor paper because it is textured, right? So if you have a smooth paper, this will work better. Have fun at Starbucks. Love you, friend. So I'm going to do the resist technique, the bokeh technique. We'll do bokeh on here. And then on here, we're going to just hand paint. I'm just going to hand paint. So we'll still do our branch down the middle, and then I'm just going to hand paint. But I love that the shape is here. I had to put a reminder on my phone for my own anniversary because I kept forgetting, Connie. So I'm going to remind you of when it's Natalie's birthday, and then you can send me extra reminders. Because that's terrible. I feel so bad. She's such a good friend. Oh my goodness. If my mother was here, she would have reminded me. Sheila would have reminded me. So I'm going to do bokeh. So I'm going to start with the lightest color. I'm going to use this blending tool. So we're going to do bokeh. And you can use this, and you can use your, it's called the Q-tip. So what colors do I want to go in? I'm going to go in, we haven't used, we're going to do a pretty earthy one here. I'm going to go in with some crushed olive to start, and I am going to stamp it down, and I think I do need a little bit of water on here. So I'm going to mist a little bit of water, right? And then I'm going to load up my blending tool. Do you want to test it first? Let's do a test. Where was my other scrap? Remember where I put that? Here. Let's test it. Oh, I love it. This is fun. Look at that's going to be fun. So let's go in, and we're going to do a bokeh technique. So we're going to go in, and I'm going to start with the big circles just to kind of lay down the pattern. Oh my goodness. I still can't believe that I did that. I love it. Okay. Give that a dry, and we'll go in with another color. And I'm not cleaning my tool off. I'm just going to use the same. Okay, let's go in with some, I'm going to go in with Twisted Citron. And I'm going to do the big ones. And then I'm going to go in with the, oh my goodness, Q-tip. Keep forgetting what that's called. So I'm going to wipe some of that off on my paper towel. Okay. And then let's pick this one up. And let's go in and bokeh them. So, oh, that's much lighter, the Twisted Citron. So I might actually add more pigment down. But we can dry it and do a second, right? Oh, I love it. And it's bleeding in there, right? Because it is Distress ink. It's dry. And I'm going to go on top of that Twisted Citron one more time. I am not usually the earthy girl, right? You know that I like a little bit of a brighter palette. But it's kind of fun with greens, right? There we go. We could do the bigger side with just the large blending tool and the other side with the Q-tip. So let's bring a little bit of color in there now. I'm going to go in now with some Mowed Lawn. And I'm not going to clean my blending tool because there's lots of water in there. Just pick that up. Let's see. I'm going to change that. I think it's too close. So let's go in with Lucky Clover. Lucky Clover. Lucky, ooh, yeah, Lucky Clover. What do we think? A little bit here. A little bit here. You got to fill your shape in, or otherwise you'll lose the tree effect, right? And maybe a little bit there. How about some at the tip? Give it a little twist if you're not getting much pigment off. So just make sure you fill around your edges because you need to get that rectangle shape, right? Hi Cheryl, how are you? I'm gonna go in. I kind of have to use the darkest now because it's hard to go backwards, right? But I feel like I need a little bit on this side. And now I'm going to dry this and we're going to just leave it like that. And then I'm going to put the other side. I'm going to use a Q-tip. So we're going to go smaller dots on the other side. So we need to make sure this is dry because I don't want to peel the paper up. Hi friends, how are you? Were you here for the first part? Did you see what we made? This is the first thing we did today. Look at ombre trees. Then we painted the copper stems. That's the first thing we did. And now we're doing this. And we're just making sure that ink is dry So I can mask and do this kind of jammy, a two-toner. So remember, when you pull that up, close, close, close to the page so you don't tear your... I love it. Look how fun that is, right? So when I go to mask my line, I want there, you could put it right up, but I want a little line. So I am going to find that line and move it over a smidge. And then make sure we're good. And then this side we're going to do with a Q-tip. So I'm going to clean up my mess quickly. Now, I'll tell you, I am not a fan of crushed olive, but I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do it again. This is not my color, but I'm going to do it. And I think it needs to be pretty wet or we can't load the Q-tip. So now we're going to go in smaller bokeh because we're going to do it with our Q-tip. So let's go in. This pigment is very light, so it'll be our first layer. And you're going to fill it. See how fun? We're just doing a bokeh technique, which is a light effect that happens, right? When your aperture, I think, is wide open. And what will happen, it lets lots of light in and you get this effect of all the little sparkly lights. So I'm going to dry that. And let's go in with another color. So we'll try cracked pistachio again. I'm going to use a new Q-tip end because I want it to be pure. That color to be pure. You can use whatever you want. If you wanted to do pink, turquoise, whatever you want, right? So you want them to stand alone. This is going to be really light. I'm going to have to load lots of ink in. But you also want to overlap. So I can hardly see this pigment, so I'm going to have to do a whole mix of colors on here, I think. Or I could dry it and go over top of these circles again. So fill in, and then come in after you've dried it, and do more. Okay, boop. I need more. This is pretty light. The color's pretty light. Let's load it up. Oh, that's good. Because you want light and dark of colors, just like bokeh would appear. And they can overlap. Okay, let's go in with another color. What do we use? Mowed lawn. New Q-tip. Hi, Yvonne. How are you? How are you doing? I'm going to have to go in with a darker one after. Because I can hardly see this one. I think I'm going to go in with some Lucky Clover after. I just got the Q-tip really wet. Let's see if that helps. So you want these to overlap, okay? This just takes a little while because it's a bigger space to fill. Dry it, and let's go in with a darker color. Oh, look it. That's my dirty finger. Oop. So make sure you're careful there. You know why? The ink is on the painter's tape. So be careful. See? I will clean my hand. Dirty girl. There we go. One more color, and we'll move on to the next thing. I forgot, what was I doing down here? Just hand painting, I think, right? Boop. So, how's everybody doing? Are you all ready for the holidays? Is anybody traveling for the holidays? Do you have your decorations up? Any Christmas parties? Anything fun you're doing? I have a ton of work, and my husband reminded me, he's like, you don't have a lot of time before Christmas. I'm like, I know. I don't know if I did. I don't remember that, the recipe for the fresh salmon. Because, right, were you here when I complained that I don't think I like it? I wasn't on last night. I came on today, right? Where are you going to, New Jersey? I'm ready to have a week off from work. I bet you are, right? That's one of the nice things about the holidays. Even if you don't plan on doing much, at least I'm going to try to clean that up a bit, friends. Let's see. Because it is a little forgiving because it's distress. There, it's not as messy. Okay, let's do the reveal. Boop. There we go. We have a bokeh tree. We have a bokeh tree. Could you add more detail on here? You most certainly could, or you could keep it completely simple. Do you see what I noticed? We need something in that corner. So let me get whatever's left on here we're going to use. But we need some color in that corner. There. There we go. We have a bokeh tree. My family and I are driving around tonight to look at the Christmas lights. I love that, Valerie. We used to do that when I was young. Like, that was a big thing. There we go. And so we have a bokeh Christmas tree. That's super, super easy technique. And I think it's really pretty. And I think if you went in non-traditional Christmas colors, if you added some pinks and stuff, could be really pretty, right? Little pom-pom tree. And you could add pencil lines if you want, or pen marks, right? That's a fun run, right? Let's do the reveal for our wax resist. What color? Let's go in with that Lucky Clover. I'm kind of digging that darker green. So I'm going to take a bigger brush. Oh, there's metallic in my water because I did not clean my watercolor. So let's see our reveal with, I'm using whatever's on my palette here. How easy is that, right, friends? To do a crayon resist, you could use a wax. Right? And even though it's wax, I'm going to heat it. And then I'll buff it a little bit and add another layer. Right, and we can buff some of the pigment off of the wax. And let's go in with a second layer. Go. So you could do your crayon through a stencil if you wanted to, so that you could actually see a pattern. But know when you're heating with the heat gun, right, that you are going to melt your wax, so you will lose some of that resist. But that is super fun, right? And there's metallic in there. Can you see it? Because my water has the metallic in there from when we did the other bits. So when you go in there, you could add a metallic layer on top. We still could do a pattern where we could do, let's just do something super simple. So I'm going to go in with the copper. I'm going to do the coppery color. And if you want to add an element of fun, let's build that up. Right? We could just do little lines like this. So it won't paint on where you waxed, right? Because it will resist this as well. Depending how much pigment you got on your brush. So I turn my page to in a direction that makes it easier for my hand. Okay, let's see what this one looks like. My fingernails are thick, hard to get that off. There we go. And masking just helps you to get a nice clean finish, right? Other than if you drag your hand all through the wet ink like I did here. Don't do that. Oh my goodness, Vicki. There we go. So like I said, if you are a lister or planner maker, card maker, if you just found me on here because you were just happened to be on YouTube and you came across, look at, just add some little lines on there. And then let's do just a little hand painted one with our, I'm going to do a color wash in the background. So I am going to pick a color. Boop. Two colors. I want like something darker. I want a blue-green. So I'm liking Lucky Clover. I might go in, look at, I'm going to go in and Selvage Patina. I'm going to do this one almost turquoisey in the background. This is very light though. So let's see what we can get. Now there's metallic in my paint and I'm just going with it. So I'm going to end up getting a kind of coppery color, but totally going to work. Let's just do our little color wash in the background. So the whole triangle is filled. And then I'm going to hand paint. And I'm going to move this up because you probably can't see it. So just give me a sec. I'm going to move stuff. Is that better? There we go. Okay, I'm going to do another one, a little bit with this selvage patina. Like I said, just so we can see the outer shape. And then I'm going to paint a stem, and I'm going to paint with the, are these both the same size? Let's see. It's a number 8. I think that's a number 8 too, but I'm going to do it with this one. I'm going to do my little brush with that, but I'm going to take a really fine round and I'm going to paint the stem of my tree. Stem? It's not a stem, Vicki. That would be called a, oh my goodness, trunk. Trunk. So let's go in with Lucky Clover because it's darker. And let's paint the trunk just so I know where my branches will go. Okay. So I need to make sure that's wet enough. And I'm going to start at the top, supporting my hand on the base. And I'm just going to do a little. Does not have to be perfect. Trunk. Okay. I'm okay that that turned out a little thicker than I meant to. I'm going to dry it a bit and lift some of that pigment up, because I'm going to go over in another color anyway. But I want to wipe some of this up with water. Clean water, and I can thin that out. See? There's the magic with watercolor. I went a little heavy, so let's take it off. Now it gives me a little kind of shadow anyway. Okay, good enough. So I'm going to take that same color and I want to do some little branches. Let's try that, Vicki. So I'm going to use the shape of this brush that has that rounded edge, and we're going to use that pattern. So let's do a little round brush there, here. Let's do one side at a time, okay, friends? Here, here, flat and thin, flat and thin. Load our brush, flat and thin, flat and thin. And then I'll push some of that color up through. To really play up that kind of watercolor, okay? Using the side of my brush. Okay. build those into this trunk. Let's do it on the other side. Whoop. So that's all I'm doing. So I'm turning this because I want to pull into. So if my hand was like this, I'd have to pull out and I'll get a different effect. So I'm going to turn so now I can pull in like that. Okay, so make sure it feels good for your hand. So I'm going to go in here now and I'm going to do that flat and lift, flat and lift, flat and lift. That one is weird. It's okay though. Flat and lift, flat and lift, flat and lift, flat and lift. And we can build a little bit of pigment because I push it back in. Okay. So just some kind of loose little watercolory thing. Carrie, look what we made. This is the first one that I'm super proud of. And now we're just practicing. So I'm going to go in now, dry this, and I'm going to go in with another color, lighter. I'm going to do a lighter shade. But let's see, do I want to build anything up first? Maybe my stem a little bit, or stem, trunk, Vicki. It's a tree trunk. So I'm going to build a little bit of that deep. Okay, we can thicken the trunk a bit. Okay. We're going to dry this. And I'm going to go in with a lighter color. Okay. So what did we just use? That was Lucky Clover. Selvage Patina is a little on the dark side. Well, let's make a color out of Lucky Clover and Selvage Patina. How about that? So I'm going to put the Selvage Patina down, and I'm going to pull a little bit of Lucky Clover into my Selvage Patina, just to give it a little bit of oomph. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to paint like another brush or another leaf. Branch, I guess they're called, Vicki. Okay. Okay. Boop. Just fill it. Make your little tree and add a little bit more water. And then I'm going to fill my background, right? Remember how I said we want to fill the whole triangle or we'll lose the shape, right? So let's go in one more time. And make sure we have filled some of that triangle. I'm okay for some of that white space to show too. Let's dry that and let's go in with some detail. I actually want to pull some of this dark out of the branch because I got pretty light here. Good. So do you see how dark that the middle of the tree is? I want to dry this and pull some of that darkness out, because I don't want right now that to be that much darker than the branches. I feel like that looks like it's on top and the branches are behind. So I'm going to pull some of that depth out on the branches. So let's just put a little bit more of Lucky Clover down. And now we'll go a little almost dry on dry. Well, it is going to be wet on dry. Wet on dry. Okay. So I am going to do a top layer now of the darker color. And feed it up. Okay. And feed it up. Feed it up. I don't want it to pool at the branch, okay? So we'll feed it up. And then we're just building a little depth on there, okay? Feed that back up. Okay, so that darker layer now, those branches look like they've come to the front. Now let's dry it. And let's add some detail. So I'm going to go in with the copper again because we really liked that. And I'm going to get that fine detail brush again. Okay. We need that to be good and thick. Let's test her. We'll do snow next. And then I'm just going to use that, like, and roll it a little bit, right? Let's make it look like a branch. So if we go for it not being perfect, will actually help us, okay? So let's go. I'm not going to go all the way to the top. I'm going to start right about here. And I am going to just kind of let it break. It's not all perfectly straight. I want it to look kind of like a branch, right? And then it should feed up into some of these branches. Because it would look weird if it was just... Okay. I feel like I need to carry the branches up into the trees a little bit. But you know what? I don't necessarily. I can go in with another color, a dark green. Let's just do it. Let's just keep it. We'll just keep this. So I'm going to do a little bit of knotty branches. Whoop. Now this one I'm pulling because I want it to be thinnest at the top. Pull from your branch out. Okay, and this one is going to be like little branches too. Oh, I love it. And then we'll do snow. Okay. Ooh. So just twirl your branch a little bit, or brush a little bit, okay? If it feels awkward and you have to turn your page, you can do that. There. Oh, I love it. But that one branch needs some twigs on it. Okay. There we go. There's the center of our tree there. Now let's do some snow on this one. Okay, we'll dry it. And we'll do some snow. So for snow, I am going to use acrylic paint or gesso because you want it to be more opaque. We do all the things here, right? We do all the things here. Let's clean that up because we don't want our snow to be green. I want white snow. So do you have acrylic paint? Do you have gesso? I don't know where all my open containers are. Let me look here if gesso's here and open. Yes, it is. So I need to get clean water. Okay, that's going to be my first thing, is I need some clean water because I don't want to put dirty water in my white paint. So to do snow and to use this gesso, you need a brush that will hold lots of moisture. So you want a bigger round, okay? A bigger round brush. You don't want a flat brush because you can't get drips from a flat brush. So let's clean my water and then we'll do snow. So the round brush I have right here is a number 8. It should work. Number 8 should work. You want to add water because this has to flow because you got to be able to get it off your brush, right? But we want it thick enough that it actually will be opaque. So let's do that. And you should be able to now go in there and add some snow. And I'll do it on these ones too. Watch you don't get it on the cat or in your face or on your sweater because it's splashy. You can also take a second brush and get some bigger drips by forcing it out of your brush. Now these are going to take a second to dry, right? Just watch what's around you when you go to do that. Let's put it on all of them because I just feel like that adds some fun. Make sure your brush is wet enough. I feel like Breakfast Club that we're doing the dandruff part now, right? For snow. There. And a little heat set, and let's reveal. There's a lot of water in these, right? So these ones I can just let dry, but I do want these ones done. So this snow did blend in a little bit with my background. So let's force it. We'll just go in, and I already have the pattern. I can just do a second layer on top. If I want some of these to be, they turned a little green, right? So I can just paint on top of them. And then it gives that falling snow effect anyway. If some are dark and some are a little bit more translucent, it looks like falling snow. So I'm just going to add a little bit more white on some of these. And then we'll do the reveal. So that was quite a few simple watercolor techniques for trees, right? You remember the dandruff part? That was, I love that movie. I have to watch that. Devin and I will have to watch that. I told her we need a movie night where we just watch some of my old movies. Can you believe it now that we say some of my old movies? And I am going to continue my trunk down. Okay, let's reveal our hand-painted. Let's do that quick. We need a little bit of a trunk. Look at everything sticking. Right? There. So what do you think, guys? Have you had a favorite today? I kind of really like this one, and I really like the ombre. I like the polka dot, the bokeh one, but I have to say that I would need a brighter palette. That one yellowy green back there throws me off. There we go. But keeping it contained, so even though you're doing kind of loose paint strokes and might make you nervous, by keeping it contained in the triangle, right, gives you a little bit more polished effect. I absolutely love this. I love it. I think that turned out right. Fun. You like the whimsical with a bow, which all I did for those ones, right, is take your, it's just a second so I don't put my arm in it. Let's clean up our mess. You could just take your black pen, right? all I did was a little circle and then some loose ribbon and tails, right? And you could totally go in and add more pen marks if you wanted on these, right? If you wanted to totally highlight that now with the doodles. I don't care because it's mine. I will doodle on it and I'll show you. So you totally could go in there, right, and add a little bit more black on your tree trunk, which just gives it, right, a little bit of interest. You do not have to do this if you're like, oh, I liked it better before. Totally fine. I could make 10 more of these, right? I never care. I'm like, I'll try anything. And then if it's like, oh, that didn't turn out how I wanted to, no biggie. I'll just make another one. But sometimes that little bit of pen line will add that little bit of interest. It ties the bow in. I actually like that black. What do you guys think? I don't think I'll do the outside of the tree, but I kind of like that. And then we do need to finish. So let's doodle on this one. We can totally doodle on this guy. So I could use a ruler for straight line. I'm going to doodle for sure on this one, because this one I feel like it needs some, like, look at, if we add some scallops on some of these lines, I think takes the, what do you call it? Like it's pretty simple, right? By doing a little bit of doodle, look at, brings interest. Question. The ink looks nice and juicy. What pen are you using? I love these ones. This is the Uniball Air. Uniball Air Micro. I bought a whole pack of these off of Amazon. Uniball Air Micro. Very good pen. So what else could we do on there? Well, we don't have a trunk, right? So then add your tree trunk. Right? And you could add a star. Let's just keep the bows going. And if you do want lines down the side, you can, right? But any of these, you could get your ruler and you could draw lines on these and add interest. I love doodles, so let's show you. It was on the floor, so let's grab it, right? So I could take this and I could add some pen marks. Sure, I do the center one. Right? Look how fun that is. And you totally could continue it, just skipping the gap, or do a different pattern on here. What do we think? Do we want a different pattern on the other side? Yeah, we could do this. This kind of stuff, like almost Zentangle-y, I find this is good for your mental health. Seriously, when you're having a rough day, take the time to do these little things. Even if you did, that you could have done flowers, all different kinds of patterns, and then just come and revisit it. And I find this adds interest. So say your paint job, you were like, I could have done better. Well, doodle on it and watch the kind of effect that you can get, right? Totally adds interest, right? And then what else could we do on this one? Let's add. Oh, look it. I could do little stars. So they're almost ornaments down here. I like this tree 10 times better now. And don't be scared. Just go for it. You could use stamps. If you're like, oh, Vicki, I couldn't just go for it. That really makes me nervous. Get a little mini stamp. I love these. These kind of have like a 50s nostalgia, right? So little stars. Okay, we need something for this one. Oh my goodness, I'm a little nervous. Oh, you know what? Let me do this first. We'll go in with our Posca. Okay, so I'm going to follow the circle pattern that I did. Okay. Kind of digging that, right? Went in with the circles. Boop! I threw my cap. I didn't put any gold on that. Does it matter? It's my page. I can do whatever I want, right? And then what if we did just kind of little lines? Like that. So like little starbursts, right? They're like eyelashes. There. I like those trees way better now, right? They were a little boop, boring. Meh. So what are we going to do on this one? What are we going to do on this one? Because really, we could just outline it. Could outline the tree. Got trying to move my chair out of the way because I'm standing up now. All right. Let's start with that. I kind of like that. It brings some definition, right? Some definition to that tree. And I would cut these out, and you have your own ephemera, right? Your own fodder that you can do some fun stuff with. You could add them on cards. You could add them to a scrapbook page. I love it. Oh, what else could I do? So I could do, look at, I'm going to get crazy. I'm just going to put words on there. Just did a little doodly do. And then I'm just going to put some polka dots on the other side, I think. Just a layer of black polka dots. I need glasses on for my black polka dots because my eyes are not doing so well. There. So there are some super simple Christmas trees. Still love this. This is still my favorite. I'm going to totally make a card of this. I might make multiple cards. And once I'm going to cut, I have these little words from my friend Tim Holtz. And I'm going to put a little phrase on there in black. Right? Wishes. I'm just going to put wishes on there. And I'll make sure I post it. I'll probably finish it right now. And then I'll post it. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy that? This is my last Saturday live before Christmas. Like I said, I'm going to flip the camera around. So sorry, got to get my arms in here. I'm going to be on here on New Year's Eve. I'll probably pop in. I'll do some random things. We're part of the Vicki Boutin creative community on Facebook. I'm sure I will come in there and say a proper Merry Christmas to you guys. But I won't be back on, sorry for the jiggles, friends, back on the YouTubes until, I hope you guys can see that. I'm trying. Back on the YouTubes until New Year's Eve. And then that one. Boop. And my favorite. I love that so much. So let me flip it around and show you up my nose for a minute. Thank you, friends. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Like I said, I'll be on New Year's, and I'm going to do kind of I'm so crooked, a little show and tell of my favorite projects from 2025, and we're going to talk about some plans for 2026. So it's not really making anything. It's just kind of like, come hang out and let's talk about things, and let's talk about things you're hoping to see from Vicki Boutin and crew in the new year. And I just I like to send off 2020, what are we in, 2025? Is it 2025? With a bang. Look, I don't even know. I don't even know what the day is, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. This is my favorite. Love it. Make sure that if you have created anything today, that you tag me so I can see it, or post it in the Vicki Boutin Creative community on Facebook, because I'd love to see what you're making. But otherwise, friends, Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday. do something special for yourself. Make some art. I hope that Santa is good to you and you get some new craft and art supplies and scrapbooking stuff. Don't forget, you can get gift certificates on vickibooten.com. So if somebody you're hard to buy for, vickibooten.com, you can use it towards your, I can't wait to do the Curiosities in Willow Grove. I'll be sharing sneak peeks of that. I still have kits left, so if you want to partake in that in the new year, you can do that. Otherwise, see you later. Thanks for spending this Saturday afternoon with me. I had a really good time, and we'll see you guys later. Bye!